I've been closed down. I have in my hand a piece of paper from the council.
Welcome to the Clarkson Farm fan channel. Today we're counting down 12 times Jeremy Clarkson crashed headfirst into the UK's most ridiculous rules and regulations.
And you haven't notified anybody. It's a statutory requirement to notify the local authority.
Before we begin, we post new reels every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel. Anyway, now let's get into it. Number 12, the wetland shutdown.
It's a process called wilding. That's what I'm aiming for.
Jeremy's big wilding idea was simple. Create a wetland to give nature a proper go on his land. But UK wildlife law isn't a suggestion. Before a single scoop of earth can move, an ecological inspector has to sign off. And when the inspector thinks he's found signs of a protected water vole, the whole project grinds to a halt.
Dog?
Nope. There's a likelihood it could be a water vole.
Very unlikely to be a water vole.
Interesting. And these are a kind of a tic-tac shape?
Disturbing a water vole habitat isn't just paperwork. It can mean huge fines or even criminal charges. So Clarkson is told bluntly not to touch a thing. What should have been a quick day with the digger turns into days of watching and waiting, setting up trail cameras, checking every hole, and following each cautious step to avoid prosecution. And after all the delays and drama, the footage finally shows there were no water voles at all. Probably just shrews, leaving Jeremy tangled in bureaucracy over something that wasn't even there in the first place. Number 11. Crisp production denied. In Season 2, Clarkson plants a mountain of potatoes, 16 tons in total, hoping to turn them into a farm shop goldmine by making his own crisps. He even sets up a small fry kitchen to slice and fry the spuds himself. That is, until he slices off half his thumb with a mandolin trying to make the chips.
Make them into crisps. Yeah?
But the real blow comes later, when a lab test on his crisps comes back with a potential carcinogen.
To District Council. My crisps are carcinogenic.
According to the results, it's due to a particular variety of potato combined with a specific kind of cooking oil. Suddenly, that potato mountain has nowhere to go, and his dream of selling Clarkson's crisps falls apart. It's a brutal reminder. Even a simple farm shop snack idea can clash hard with food safety regulations and chemical risk.
We are nervously in sort of breach of some of the soil compaction requirements, which I know...
I'm sorry, say that.
Number 10. The soil police. In this scene, Jeremy's wilding project hits another farming rule: soil compaction. Charlie shows up furious because the rain-soaked yard has been churned up by heavy machinery. He warns Jeremy that working on saturated ground can breach soil compaction requirements, and that could even cost him part of his subsidy.
And here, look, you know, all this is just damage to the soil.
Yeah, but how do you get a bulldozer down there without damaging the soil?
Do it when it's not really wet.
The issue isn't just muddy tracks. Compacted soil loses structure, blocks drainage, and hurts crop growth. And using big machines in wet conditions makes it far worse, crushing the soil into a hard, damaged layer. So instead of pushing on, Jeremy's told to hold back, reduce machinery use, and wait for the ground to dry. It's another reminder that even on his own land, farming rules and environmental standards still dictate what he can and can't do.
But what you've done, your actions will potentially cause, loss of payment. That could be £10,000 to £15,000.
I've been closed down. I have in my hand a piece of paper from the council.
Number 9. The planning permission saga. Jeremy's farm shop hits another bureaucratic wall. The council refuses his tin roof, calling it unsuitable, so he's forced to replace it with a heavy slate roof just so he can open. They bring in the fire inspector too. Alan installs the required emergency lights and fire exit signs, and the inspector says they're mostly compliant, but hints there's still room for improvement.
I would maybe just suggest some emergency lighting on the outside to cover any darkness.
You know, it's not a Boeing 747, this. It's just a shop.
Yeah.
Finally, with the slate roof in place and fire safety sorted, you might think the shop is good to go, but the council still won't grant permission for a car park. They argue it would ruin the area of outstanding natural beauty around Clarkson's farm. So despite all the fixes, Clarkson faces a choice: appeal the decision, which could cost hundreds of thousands, or live with the consequences: more traffic, more risk to his land, and no proper parking. It's another example of how red tape and regulations tie his hands, even when he's just trying to build something simple.
Reasonable cases is, I understand, it would not be compatible or consistent in scale with the existing farming business or its agriculture. We have a little business that now has 5 people on the payroll. We're supporting local farms and local businesses, and now we have to have an enforcement case opened on us.
Number 8. Economic red tape. In one of Clarkson's most ridiculous battles with local regulation, the council tells him he can't sell produce in the farm shop unless it's made within roughly 16 kilometres of Diddley Squat. The idea is to protect local identity, but in reality, it blocks Jeremy and Lisa from supporting small businesses during COVID, even though the whole point of the shop was to give local people income and keep the community alive. Clarkson calls it nonsense, and Lisa keeps selling the products anyway because customers actually want them.
Lisa has a rather Irish attitude to rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Lisa doesn't listen, and the council doubles down, issuing an enforcement notice warning they could face prosecution if they don't stop. It's absurd. The shop is supporting local income and employment, yet they're being told they can't sell products people actually want.
We don't follow the rules. You could actually end up with a criminal conviction, which is ridiculous. I understand that.
Morning, Jeremy.
How are you?
I'm all right, yeah, good to see you.
Number 7. The Crayfish Conundrum. In this scene, Jeremy is trying to improve on a nearby dam wall, having to move heavy machinery past his pond. The inspector stops him cold. The pond is home to a protected American crayfish. Clarkson can't hide his disbelief.
American ones.
Yep, North American signal. Yep,
And they're the bad ones
they are the bad
that
ones,
have
yep.
killed all our English ones.
Yep.
Knowing there's hundreds in the pond and finds out that they are apparently an alien invasive species protected by law. The inspector warns that using machinery on parts of the bank could collapse the crayfish burrows. If Jeremy ignores this, he could face massive fines or even jail. So instead of just repairing the dam wall, he has to tiptoe around a species that's actually causing environmental damage.
How would you recommend I did this work?
Number 6. The Cow Police. In Season 2, Episode 6, Jeremy faces one of the most tedious farming regulations yet: registering every single cow with the government. Each animal has to be tagged, numbered, and recorded, a painstakingly slow process that takes hours. But the bureaucracy doesn't stop there.
Okay,
No.
sorry about that. Let's try again. Please tell me your county parish holding number.
Once the cows are tagged, Jeremy and the team have to call a government hotline to register them, only to face long waits in a robotic phone queue and get cut off over a single wrong letter or number. Hours of work vanish, frustration soars, and they're no closer to finishing. A perfect example of red tape turning a simple task into a full-blown logistical nightmare, even though the cows are already on the farm, feeding and producing.
Charlie,
So
that was all recorded, okay? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. They can piss off. Oh, yeah. Hello.
hi.
How are you?
All right, thanks. How are you?
Good.
As long as you've done your waste exemption license, you're fine.
Number 5. Regulated dirt. Jeremy starts dumping soil from his building site, but Charlie pulls up and asks him if he's registered a waste exemption license.
Charlie, it's my quarry,
I know.
so I am moving.
But
If you have
how
a
do you know-
if you have a garden,
Clarkson is gobsmacked. Why does he need government permission to dump soil on his own land? Here's the catch. Under UK waste law, even just soil can count as regulated waste unless you've got the right exemption. If you skip the paperwork, you risk enforcement, fines, or worse. Charlie explains that this isn't just red tape for the sake of it. Farmers can apply for exemptions to store or use non-hazardous waste, but only if they register properly. If they don't, there's real risk. So what should have been a simple job of dumping earth becomes a standoff with the soil police. An absurd little moment where bureaucracy turns every pile of dirt into a legal minefield.
civilization have reached a point
Yes.
where you buy your food from a petrol station.
Yes.
You should buy it from a pub.
Number 4. The Pub Police. Jeremy has a grand plan. Build a pub that also doubles as a shop, selling meat and farm produce directly from Diddley Squat. But the council hits him with a regulatory twist. In UK law, pubs are sui generis, meaning they're in a special category, and combining pub and shop functions isn't straightforward. Clarkson would prefer it classified under Class E, which covers shops and restaurants, but that's not automatic. On top of that, he needs a proper alcohol license under the Licensing Act. What should be a simple local pub ends up tangled in planning rules and licensing bureaucracy. A perfect example of red tape making even a small project feel like a legal minefield. Number 3. Protected pests.
If you get TB, not only have you got a huge financial hit, your hands are literally physically tied until you become clear of TB.
At Diddley Squat, the farm faces a massive headache. Their own cow production could be shut down if any cattle catch TB. The disease spreads from badgers. But here's the catch. Badgers are legally protected. You can't cull them, even though they're spreading infection and causing millions in losses.
It costs taxpayer 150 million this year just gone.
Clarkson points out the irony. Badgers aren't endangered, yet farmers are powerless while the cost to taxpayers soars. What should be a routine farm management issue turns into a frustrating battle with law and wildlife protection, leaving Jeremy stuck between protecting his herd and following rules that seem out of step with reality.
They're a protected species since mid-1980s to stop badger baiting. But badger baiting isn't a problem anymore, so I think the government needs to adjust what is protected and what is not protected.
Number 2. The farm track.
You know, we put in a prior notification to say, look, we're just going to build the farm track. Well, they've actually refused it.
Jeremy wants to build a simple farm track, a road across his field to connect his prep kitchen with the barn restaurant and make life on Diddley Squat easier, but surprise. The council refuses permission, calling the track unnecessary for agriculture. Clarkson is baffled. He argues. It's his own land.
Have you ever heard of a farmer being turned down for a farm track?
And a track would actually improve operations. But the council stands firm. It's just another frustrating rule. Red tape stopping a farmer from building a basic road on his own farm, all for bureaucratic definition of necessary use, which people is sure is just out of spite against him. Number 1. The farm restaurant closure. Jeremy's vision of a farm restaurant comes crashing down in Season 3 when the council slaps an enforcement notice on Diddley Squat. They say the restaurant is unlawful. Its scale and location are unsustainable for a countryside farm in a protected AONB. The council demands he shuts down the on-site dining, removes tables, parasols, mobile toilets, and even stops selling food for public consumption unless it's produced locally.
Reinstate the land around the restaurant to a condition similar to that of the agricultural land immediately surrounding it.
Clarkson fires back that he's just trying to make his farm income generating and sustainable, even appealing the notice, saying he found a loophole to convert a building for restaurant use.
Well, everybody's money is just thrown and pissing it up against the wall. It's a joke. All the effort we put in, and we're back on square one.
It's another example of red tape strangling a simple idea: grow food, sell it, and feed people. But only if the planning rules let you. Say goodbye to economic growth, jobs and development in Chadlington. And that's our countdown of the top 12 times Clarkson ran into ridiculous rules and regulations at Diddley Squat. What do you think of the current laws imposed on farmers and people across the UK? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for daily reels of Clarkson Farm chaos.